So, EPR and lightweighting. Here's an example of an O201. It's manufactured from 110 outer liner, 110 inner liner and an 80 gram fluting. B-flute, recycled liners. And supposing we lightweighted to 90 outer liner, 90 inner liner and kept the fluting at 80, B-flute, same box, what would actually happen? So I've got a spreadsheet here on my laptop, which you can't see very clearly, obviously, but it states basically the input is what the current board grade is, what the input is, what potentially the new grade could be, and how many of those boxes are being used per year, which is what you would have to declare. And it tells me, based on the £190 fee in the UK for paper, it tells me really the bottom line is you save £247 by lightweighting. However, if your box contains primaries like this, carton shippers made out of folding box board, and there's 12 of these in that carton, they may add some help to the load bearing possibilities for the case. So they would possibly add about 40% to the load bearing. So that wouldn't be too bad. So you could possibly lightweight, but to save £247 a year. If the product inside, the primary or the product itself, isn't load bearing at all, then lightweighting could be really seriously dangerous because the boxes could collapse. So I wanted to show you another method that I've found or have been using for decades to reduce the fee and completely offset it possibly to save yearly money. So you don't have to pay massively exorbitant EPR fees. So I've got the current carton size, and if you remember 20 millimeters off the depth of this small carton, because there's quite a bit of headspace in there actually, that's where I would go after the savings in an audit round a warehouse. So basically that's the current size. This is the new size, 20 millimeters less. And I'm saying they sell 600,000 primary packs, which is basically 50,000 shippers, because there's 12 in a shipper. What they're doing now is, on a standard UK pallet, is 55 boxes per pallet. But if you take 20 millimeters off it, of course, you can get an extra layer on top of the pallet on a 1200 by 1000 by 1350 high unit load for the UK, which fits racks perfectly. You can get 66. That's a 20% increase per pallet of primary packs. Given that there's 50,000 shippers a year, and there's 55 currently, that's 909 pallets versus 758 pallets. So that's a 17% reduction in pallet usage. So racking, what's the cost of racking? Well, I've just said it's £4 a week per pallet per rack space. That's a very generous figure. It's probably a lot more than that. So based on the current situation, basically they are paying for 52 weeks a year. They're paying something like £189,000 a year, whereas the new depth shipper and more per pallet is £157,000. So that's a saving of £31,000 just by changing the depth of this box by 20 millimeters, the depth of the outer, etc. A lot more saving than £249 just by lightweighting. Also, there's other savings that we don't know about. Less pallet movements within a warehouse, less truck space, less CO2, less stretch wrap, of course, and then there's less GSM, but that's a tiny little bit. But effectively, and this is just a resume of the previous spreadsheet that I did that's sort of saying that's £247 per saving per lightweighting only. So this is a massive number, and that's year on, which will easily offset the cost of the £247 or so for the EPR fee. So if you want to know more how I do this and would like me to have a look at your particular packaging, which is not really presented on many LinkedIn and posts. It's all about theory and discussion, isn't it? But this is really the Gemba, the Kaizen Gemba. Let's get down to it and find those real savings. So thanks for watching. Just get in touch with me and I'm sure I can help you.